So the elephant in the room after the game, unfortunately, the elephant in the room was what happened after the game or towards the end of the game versus what happened in the game, which is we're gonna get into, which was phenomenal. I enjoyed that game from start to
from
finish.
start to
It
finish,
was
it
just
was amazing.
and Alexis Morris and Jasmine, people I never even talked
Yes.
about before. It
Yeah.
just was unbelievable. And Caitlin Clark was just boss office as we thought. But at the end of the game, there was a situation, and we all perhaps seen it before, where Angel was I guess taunting, you may call it, or
Taunting, trolling on the court.
Yeah, on the court, and it created a thunderstorm. And the reason Angel even did this because it's something that Caitlin had done before, and people say it was a different situation, but that was some words that Caitlin uses when you can't blank and guard me and stuff like that. It's just trash talk.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But when it's elevated to the point where championship game and LSU girls are doing it, all of a sudden it's the worst thing anybody can ever do in their life. And I have to be honest with you, it's reflective of America and really what's going on in this game. Let me tell you why. I mean, this is sick. If you're an idiot, if you don't think it's have nothing to do with race, it's all about black and white. It's all about predominantly black team on LSU. It's all about predominantly white team on Iowa. It's all about the Iowa girls who never do anything like that. They have more class. Really? Why? Because they're white and then black girls don't have class?
Right.
I mean, so it's just, and it's created a thunderstorm, in my opinion. In my opinion, because I talked junk when I played, I felt that Angel was probably a little over the top at the end, following around.
She was in her emotions.
What she did was, I'm okay, but following around, she could have done. They should have called a tech if it was doing the game when she was doing it. I've been fine with that. But to the extent to where you think that she's the worst person in the world, there are a lot of people coming out on Twitter saying, then I think you need to go somewhere and jump to the late people.
Absolutely.
Because you lost your damn mind. That's where I am.
I agree. I mean, I was reading some of the tweets about, they were discounting her play. What did she do in the game? Okay. What did she do all tournament? Come on now. That was totally ridiculous. But, I mean, that is what Caitlin did every time, she would come back on the court a lot throughout all the tournament. She'd do her hand motions, which meant you can't see me. You can't see me. But I think it was a direct correlation to what she did during the South Carolina game. They felt like even LSU was watching that game, so they felt like that she was disrespecting South Carolina in several different ways, but one where she waved off the girl, and she was constantly doing the "you can't see me" and stuff like that. And they're SEC. It was like she was just protecting them or coming back. It was a clap back, and it was trash talking. I mean, guys do it
all the time.
All the time.
But I guess when females do it, it's frowned upon. I guess.
I guess we can't. We're not supposed to do it.
Well, I mean, we said something the other week about time and space, right? So, in someone's lowest moment, sometimes it's viewed as a little bit of a cheap shot, right? Caitlin Clark's lowest moment was at the end of that game.
Yeah.
And to do that, maybe once, just flash it, I get it. But to come over, get in her face and taunt her, maybe that's viewed as a little.
Yeah.
Just
she definitely didn't have to go
just
follow her down the court.
That's right. Just let it out. During the game, all bets are off. While I'm whooping your, all bets are off, right? But in someone's lowest moment as a competitor, right, as a good sportsman, which all of a sudden we got to always rise to the occasion. But anyway, that's another story. Sometimes that's viewed as just a little,
well, like Reese said, it was 10 seconds left. Ref should have called
it. Yeah, they could have called a tech. And I've been fine with the tech.
Still wouldn't have won. They were way behind.
I would call the tech.
I get it.
But the referees was an issue the whole in both,
that's a whole
both tournaments.
That's another story.
Yeah, 37 fouls called. Some of those stuff, some of those fouls, like, man, what are you doing? So, but
back to the Angel Reese point though.
Okay,
is sometimes it's time and space, and in someone's lowest moment, that's never going to be viewed as a good thing. It is what it is, right? And I get it. They enjoyed it. They did exactly what I would prefer they have done to them, because they knew how to win that game after watching that thing of South Carolina. I said that at the end of the South Carolina game. If they had 14, if they had another day to prepare and come back and look at that game, they would have played it totally different.
Yeah. That's what the coach said.
They would have played it totally different.
Coach Mark, she said she said South Carolina didn't shoot. We're gonna shoot our way out of this.
Right.
And they should have.
Yeah.
They should have. I'm just telling you.
Shoot our way out of this.
You can't look at that game, the South Carolina game, when South Carolina play hour, and not say you at this point you're giving them opportunities that they shouldn't get. And I get it, some of the calls and some of the other things, but either way, they played a great game. She shot lights out. It is what it is. But back to the Angel Reese point, just to close that out, is sometimes in someone's lowest moment, you taking that point of view in that place, in that space, will never be viewed as a good thing.
Well, I mean, that's
or fair.
But when do we hear it? I mean, I'm thinking NBA. I'm thinking the men college. They do it all the time to the end of the game. Like, but where does it get called out? But it's called out more because Angel. I mean, because it's a women's basketball.
No.
Or what is it?
No.
If it was too like,
because I think men taunt each other all the time.
So to answer your question, if the center for South Carolina, I forget her name now, but
the one that's going pro.
Aaliyah Boston.
If Leah Boston and her went at it, there was not a damn thing said about it in the media, in the press. Nobody would have said a word. It would have just been she picked on Leah Boston in the lowest moment. Yeah, she probably should have, but they do that. Mm-hmm. But because it was viewed as Angel Reese towering over little Caitlin Clark while she's crying in All-America, the All-American girl who won everybody's hearts 2 nights ago is now being picked on by this big center from big black girl from LSU.
Yeah.
The optics of that is what put people in their emotions.
And
I said it is what it is.
And that's 100% true, and that's why. Because some guy was on the radio, I was listening way in, and he was like, well, she wouldn't have done that against the Boston girl or whatever because she's black. Because they felt they could pick on the girls from Iowa because they're white.
Yeah,
really?
It's just the opposite.
But what about Caitlin? She was doing it in the
that doesn't matter.
But K-Mac brought up a good point. This little Caitlin from Iowa, and she's
it's America's sweetheart. Won her heart 2 nights ago.
She's America, Caitlin and apple pie. I mean that's the way it is.
Right,
everything's perfect. Right. So when you have this towering lady who's very aggressive, and people call her names that I won't call those names, that blows my mind. Tantra gets, how dare she does that? Yeah, you got to treat her. Yeah. With the purest level that you can, because that's No.
In every video that you see, she's coming off the bench doing like this.
She talking John. I'm gonna talk to John too.
Got her hand in her face.
She shouldn't be separate from anybody else. Because she can straight ball. Yes. One of the best basketball players I've ever seen.
Ever.
So I mean, if she give it, she can take it, and we move on. But that's. What K-Mac said, and what I added to is really the narrative that's going on, and we're gonna find that all along. I wouldn't be surprised some people in Mar-a-Lago say something about this going forward, but he's gonna be in D.C. New York.
He got some other stuff.
He got some other stuff, but
we need to worry about.
Put it down. You're gonna hear some politician is gonna say something relative to this situation.
But Dawn talked about it even before this game about how the media has talked about her players.
Okay, well,
hopefully, I don't know if we have that, but
do we have the Dawn stuff about the players? Okay, let's hear that right quick. They all want to hear about Angel talk about what she said in the press conference. Let's hear Dawn Staley first.
Colleagues have sitting in that spot and talked about you all being bullies. What's the truth about your team?
The truth about our team, okay? It's a good question. Okay.
Why they bullies though?
We're not bar fighters. We're not thugs. We're not monkeys. We're not street fighters. This team exemplifies how you need to approach basketball on the court and off the court.
That's.
And she goes on to say, and you know, they're playing the way that I coach,
Yeah.
and I'm not changing. And if you knew these girls off the court, they're great women.
So they're thugs because they're black?
Real physical. They play real physical.
No, I'm asking a question again.
But yeah.
No, the thing is, and let's not run away from what's going on here. I mean, it is what it is.
You know, it's weird though,
and it's unfortunate because it has nothing to do with how well those young women play and how awesome this Final Four was one of the most popular Final Fours on the women's side ever.
Right.
And we got to talk. We got to dive into this racial aspects of it, which is really unfortunate.
You know, the center for Iowa that fouled out toward the end of the game.
Who can go though?
Look,
She can play.
one of the roughest
Oh man.
playing. I'm looking
that's
at
a good
how
point.
she's playing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, she can play though. But
She
yeah,
is like, you
She
talking
leads with the
about
elbow.
you talking about a bar fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
like
And
she in
lead-
the fight.
leads with her,
And she'll win them.
yeah, and she
she'll win
leads
most
with
fights,
her
too.
body.
So the question
That's
I
a
guess
great
what
point.
I guess what I didn't understand was they had this narrative leading into the game as if South Carolina was the most physical team, like we joked about Tennessee in the men's tournament
Yeah.
being one of the most
Oh
physical
yeah,
teams.
when they beat Duke. Yeah,
Right.
right.
But I'm looking after I watched the game and I said, damn, Iowa looks to be
Man,
5 times more
Man.
physical
Exactly.
And to the
than
point.
South Carolina. So where did this narrative start, or was it because of a sore loser like you know, the UConn coach and others all during the year that couldn't compete on that level, whining and complaining about it?
All during the
Because
year.
teams like Iowa, hey,
Yeah.
they were like, hey, it's tough down there. Now they did say they were taller than us, so they were bigger than us. But hell, that didn't have nothing to do with them fighting in the paint.
and her backup was just as physical.
Yes.
When she went to the bench because she got fouled, other big girl came and went to work. I mean, so they was big, man, and they was physical as well.
So this narrative started by Gino Auriemma from Connecticut when he first got waxed by South Carolina this year, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
It has continued to go, and the media has picked up on it. Others have played. What I don't understand is, why does it have to be a negative thing?
Right. And that's what Dawn was saying. Watch what you say. And that's what she told me, that you should watch what you say. And those things that she listed has been called, they've called her team that.
Thugs,
But
Thugs,
why-
monkeys.
monkeys.
Like, why does it have to
Bullies.
be negative? Like, I get it. You're trying to attribute their physical play, and you have no way to use your lexicon other than make up words that are always negative. You can never pick anything.
I just
Mm-hmm.
919.
They don't have that apparently in theirs.
919-890-6200. We'd love to get your opinion about this. But before we tee it up for the break, let's hear. I mean, they asked, and I would love for us to get Caitlin Clark's response. If you could pull that, we'll play it a little later. But here's Angel Reese response on being herself and being unapologetically herself. Let's take a listen.
I'm happy. I mean, all year I was critiqued about who I was. Nobody. The narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me. Twitter is gonna go in a rage every time. And I mean, I'm happy. I feel like I've helped grow women's basketball this year. I'm super happy and excited. So I'm looking forward to celebrating in the next season.
Wow.
I'm not mad at living your truth, young.
I'm not either.
At the end, we all get jaded because we can all just look at the sound bites and the clips. But these young women have had to live this life all year and the year before that, right?
Right.
So there's a lot that went into her final response at the end of that game. And it had probably a little bit to do with Caitlin in the trash talk she gave South Carolina. Like, oh, you going to trash talk my girls on the way out?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
All right, they ride with me, so we got you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is what it is. And they put it on Iowa. They did what they knew they could do. And she gave a little bit of trash talk back, which is cool. Because Caitlin was giving people trash talk 2 days before, which is cool. But All the other stuff is all of us out here projected on a bunch of athletes that just want to go play ball.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's what I don't get. It's like we the ones that's how the bar fight come in. That ain't come from anybody internally. I mean, on the court, right? All the other stuff, all the other junk in the game didn't come from anybody on the court. It always comes from outside, which is society.
Right.
Which society always got something to say.
Well, but it's reflective of society. That's the first thing I said.
And they have
Unfortunately.
feelings.
Right,
and she
unfortunately,
has
yes.
feelings. And she's heard and
Yeah.
read everything.
Yeah.
And Twitter has really been on her all year. And, so part of that is just I'm going to be who I am. And I just
It's
won this
always-
game. And I'm
Just always got to put some junk in the game, though.
I mean, it's and unbelievable. We said about 2 seconds about what happened during the game. We were going to get into that at some point as well. What we got on the side?